Hello. Uh, Yippee, more queue times. I have not seen the Stream Elements bot do that specifically in the YouTube chat. It's okay. Doesn't seem to be too bad today. Well, I say that. Oh, here we are. Oh, full party.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
By the way, easily one of the greatest Shiva Final Fantasy designs. Easily. Okay. Oh. Well, okay. God damn it, I was fighting. What's that song called?
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence.
Yeah, I just found it.
Mine is the righteous cause.
It randomizes who gets stepped on between the phases. Some people go to do this unsync alone, so they'll be the only option for steppies. I'm not saying they're wrong for doing so.
You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the Keeper of the Lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift. Hear, feel, think.
Sick ass arena, by the way.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
By the 12, you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? Iceheart did what? You're certain about that, are you? Dravonians are skilled with glamours, after all. What's up? Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Ah. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Rising stones. Okay. I don't know. His voice did seem kind of annoying, so well, oh Lord. What, why were you going that way? There she is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life. Eat something specific about him. Gotcha. You are right, of course, Sir Emmerich. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, cannot wish for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. There's matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Trilamon, is a caravan ready? Supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. I take it these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from the House Fortom caravan. Plus the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. On an unrelated note, Yuna, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead? Sure. 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. I apologize if I'm, really tongue-tied today. Because I think I bit my tongue while I was asleep somehow. Because, the side of my tongue is really sore. So I really probably should let it rest, but... So it's... Time for a little fan to start blowing. What were you thinking, Yuna? Waging your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her rituals to summon Shiva anyway. And then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat. Well, what if I engaged her in Street Fighter? I mean, I'm pretty decent melee player. By the fury, Yuna. This is stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But here you are now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alphinaud in private. He awaits us in the intercessory.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks.
I I had a reaction to his voice. I forgot. Maybe I should crank that fan up. Jesus.
Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not, and there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's Toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, At your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you.
Okay.
Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. What you say is true. Ishart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat and of our approaching to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an inseverable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine, then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized peoples as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Una, it is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. Okay.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole.
I'm in Villia.
Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. I Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Oh, pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Okay. I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard-Zormr. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few... You hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Una, it's well that you are on hand. We have a problem. Roy. I forget how to say his name. That name. My tongue. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She has been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. There is a person in the novice chat called... Here, let me move out of the way. Part-time waifu. They're gone, but... I don't know why that was relevant. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. I shouldn't be distracted. She makes for Castrum Meridianum. Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon her heels. Okay. My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that, they say that she walked through the camp not a bell ago. She walked right through here. You did not miss here. We have Raubon's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her. And so here we are. She must not be allowed to reach Castrum Meridianum. Hello, Stoyle. Okay. This wretch was with her. He threw himself at us that his mistress might escape. Final Fantasy 14. Oh, come on. So, what the fuck? Where? What happened to everyone? What happened to all my help? Okay. Actually, let's do. Yeah, no, that's valid. It's pretty hard to determine what's going on at any given moment. Wait. What the fuck? So, second wave came in. Where the fuck did the rest of the people? Where the fuck did my health go? You know what? Fuck it. There's no merit to this. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, Bobasha. Okay, actually, maybe I should... Hello? Why is... Okay. Oh my god, okay. Hold on. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Let's try... yeah. Oh my god. Oh, hello? Can I not target you? What's your order? You know what? You know what? Fuck it. I don't give a shit. This is pissing me off, actually. Cause, like, what the fuck do you mean? Let's get you. Dude. I thought you died. What the fuck? Some raid boss fights are less overstimulating than whatever the fuck was going on. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of Lo? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known anyone. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think you're you think it your God's-given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-born Ishgardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive, stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Raban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what he threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? Whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it's that you never betray your own. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Not so much as a hint of remorse. 'Tis well that this sordid business is finally at an end. Friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our allies more wisely than Raubon chose his.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Raubon. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Uh-oh. Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Raubon, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done. But I have one last task for you. Your work here is done. Oh, but one more thing. Be gone. Fuck.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say.
Why? Okay.
Together with Robon, Aline lent us much needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had two pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
It would seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least.
Okay.
According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Asian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Interesting.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald.
Whenever the term right hand is used in that specific context of, like, you know, second in command, I think of the bit from Resident Evil 4. Your right hand comes off.
But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Vorissos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
So at this point, she's a triple agent?
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
No, triple agent.
Huh, triple?
Yeah.
If you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or Monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
Dude, Alfie is so fucking short.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Though...
Oh, whoops.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
Yeah, well, bro was
All
like...
these years, I've been made to dance to their tune.
Well, bro was like a full 3 foot shorter.
How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Today I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees.
That muffin. It looks good.
The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the Immortal Flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Ul'dah's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the Immortal Flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Ul'dah will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Rauban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
Honestly, pretty based. What? Bowl of Embers, Navel, and Howling Eye. I will say, um, so a little bit of my Warrior of Light's lore is that she is an old on street kid, so like the dissolution of the Sultanate and the monetarists, huge. But how do I get the hard versions of these? Hold on. Dude, so I googled how to unlock the Bull of Ember's heart. First fucking result was a Reddit thread. How do I unlock Bowel of Ember's heart? A trip to Chipotle, maybe. Eat more Taco Bell. Eat a couple of habanero peppers. Chew thoroughly. So some Nashville hot chicken is legitimately good spicy chicken, but most everything that came about, slam a bag of sugar-free gummy bears and chase it with a bottle of hot sauce. No, that's Bowel of Ember's nightmare mode. Waking Sands. Okay. Before we do that, I'll be right back. Dude, I can't get over the fucking, the bowel of embers, typo. Would he be in the solar? The solar. No? Wait. Do I speak to... I was expecting Urianger here. Okay, no, yeah. I don't know why I was, well, I guess it was because he was left in charge, quote unquote, of the Waking Sand. I owe you my life, Yuna. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's okay, Thancred. Such knowledge as I possess of the beast tribes and their primals is at thy disposal. Whether man or beastman, we are wont to see power when plunged into the black depths of despair. That despair doth begin with the Amalsha, who may have already summoned forth Ifrit. With her comrade Thancred now returned, thou wouldst do well to seek his counsel. Do you... Confirmation has just arrived from the Immortal Flames. 'Tis as Urianshe said. I feared the Amalja have already summoned Ifrit. A confrontation with the Lord of the Inferno is inevitable. I would like nothing more than to lend you my blade, but the students of Baldesion insisted that I refrain from taking to the field where it concerns primals. I know not the workings of it, but it would seem that recent events have left me especially susceptible to tempering. As much as I hate missing out on the fun for everybody's sake, I must sit this one out. Instead, I will focus on gathering and analyzing data. Now the Immortal Flames have already conducted a preliminary investigation into Ifrit. They may well have information that will be of use to you. Well, I will. I just want to talk to my husband first. One last thing before you depart. Doubtless you remember Minvelia's words, but this Ifrit is a far cry from the primal you first defeated. You will want to assemble your most dependable comrades for the mission. Okay. Primal fear. Let's just fill up our screen. Let's... Okay. Wait. I wanted to do Primal Fear first, because it was... Oh, okay, I was just... Right region, wrong area. flew in. Oh. He's... okay. Inside. Oh, that is a lot of, markers. Chance to loop. I'll go ahead and talk to you, because I'm right here. Do I have to do the fucking, escort mission again? That sucked. Honoring. Knight clad in shadow-forged armor, a mammoth sword and hellsborn steed. Yeah, I figured this was Odin. Okay. I don't think I do. Not long ago, I had a stern word with the Moggles Guard about the dangers of turning pleasant fairy tales into disturbing reality. But they insisted that the intimidating force that is good King Moggle Mog the 12th, may his scepter of judgment ever command our respect, is exactly the sort of savior we need. The Moggles Guard are afraid, Kupo. Afraid of how the forest has changed, afraid of the never-ending conflict, afraid that we Muggles have no place in this new world. I am scared of all those things too, but the thought of unleashing our royal menace upon the 12's Wood scares me even more, Kupo. Thorn March Extreme. So, do I have to complete all of them, or do I just have to unlock them? I assume the 3 mentioned I have to complete. I am Ap Pessy, and you must be the adventurer I'm expecting. Ah yes, Odin, the dark divinity. O Lord Lewin is understandably distressed. Just the hard ones, okay. The extreme ones, I assume, will... I don't think that... I would assume that they're not necessarily required, but I will complete them later. Yeah, that's what I was figuring. I would still like to do them. Just maybe like off stream. Crazy fate. So that one was called The Last of the Elegants. Absolutely insane fate to be turned into a sperm demon. I see. Solid neck pop. Ugh. I'm going to take this because I want to. I know I'm melee, but I think I already have a quick arm materia, which I don't have equipped. But I do want to go at least see what Astrologian is about whenever I get that unlocked. But then again, ooh, actually, I do want to main Gunbreaker. I want to have a few other classes, but Gunbreaker be my... So I should take this, actually. Yeah. Oh, I see, Quartermaster. Where? Music kind of fucks. Okay, bowl of embers. What we're gonna do, what I'm doing right now is unlocking all of them, and then I'm going to register for all 3 at once, and then, like, eliminate my way down the list. Which I'm sure is what most players do, but building work had scarce begun when Iceheart's minions descended upon the fortress from all directions. I would say that they deliberately delayed their attack until sufficient supplies had been delivered to their doorstep. Do not begrudge my men their decision to flee. However, by abandoning our crystal stores, we have given the heretics the means to summon their patron saint. I beseech you, slayer of the gods of beastmen who banished once before the demon who threaten us now, lend us your strength. Okie doke. I don't know if I'll do all of them today, depending on queue times. I would love to. It is an honor, madam. When you are ready, I shall lead you through the tunnels to the Aetheryte. We should not be troubled by heretics or beasts along the way, so you may concentrate solely on the task at hand. Ah. Okay. So can I not unlock them all at once? Do I have to just do them one at a time? Wait. Oh, there you are. Okay, so... Which ones were hard required? Okay, so I start with Bowl of Embers hard. Okay. Recruited some help for the hard trials. You know what? I think it'd be best to just hang out in Revenant's Toll. Look at the beast. The creature. Yippee! We did it. I should clear out my... Okay. So that means we should actually let me check which ones I need. Because I already have some hard naval and howling eye. None that I have. Okay. So in that case, unlock the same way? Talk to Urianger? Oh, Papalymo this time. In for Garuda Awakening. That's... These quest names. Also, this person has just been, like, on the ground, like... Holy shit. That was some sick-ass armor. Okay, we wanna... Evil bird lady, my beloved. Ow. Yippee. So much back and forth. I wonder how much gil I've spent in the last hour alone. I don't remember. Is there, like, actually a lore reason as to why teleporting costs gil? Magic bucket. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like make a lot of sense as to why oh wait, I love this little Umano Unicult. Oh man, oh fuck, I love that little dude. Is it like purposefully white and red? Is it maintenance of the Aetheryte, so so the gods just like arbitrarily put a tax on the Aetherites for management. But yeah, I'm specifically pointing out the color scheme because I'm like, ah, fucking gold ship. I see. Come on. Auto flight. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. What? Oh. Here we are. Bitch. I see. Yeah, that would not be ideal. Oh, God. I thought there was wall there. I could have swore there was wall there. But in my defense, I tried to run to where I thought there was wall. No, that unfortunately was not the first time I've fell off in when fighting Titan. But like, yeah. No, I'm saying like, I thought I ran to where there was wall, but I guess I'm just blind. Okay. So I think that's all of these. Actually, ooh, that's some sick armor. Okay, we're redoing Ifrit real quick because I didn't have enough inventory space for the reward. Are you serious? Okay. I would love to. I have a Phoenix down, right? Wait, why is it not letting me return to the start? What? 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 Why is it not letting me respawn? I'm not gonna address this. I am most eager to address the ASEAN threat. I am most eager to address anything other than my blunders. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you forget, antecedent, the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. We're not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason. True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Yuna, in particular, is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Ul'dah? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. I have not done the Valentine's Day event. Suffice it to say, Leji Adeleji and his monetarist ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Raubon needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so for the foreseeable future, I think it would be for the best if I were to remain in Ul'dah, unless you have an objection. Noted. I will check that out. Moonbreda's research is proceeding as planned. So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Urianger is poring over his tomes at the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. It is only a matter of time. Yuna, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alphino and his braves with theirs. It would do much to restore faith in the Immortal Flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. Sure. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Riel's latest report. He's proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept secret. Hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Ul'dah riots. When you are finished here, join me outside. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. Fanfare was a little delayed. Pleasure as always, Yuna. You'll be escorting the commander to Ul'dah, I take it? If you would be so kind as to repeat your report for her benefit. Me and mine have been making inquiries into the source of the weapons what found their ways into refugee hands a ways back. So happens we caught wind of something promising. A rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near High Bridge. I doubt this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting. Clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer for this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant who caught an arrow while talking to Yuna, don't it? Generous fella he was, doling out swords and spears to the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say these clients have the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, might be prudent to intervene before they collect their goods, savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, Yuna? Rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at High Bridge. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever played Fire Emblem Three Houses, but this guy is giving, Dollar Store Dimitri. Ah, Yuna. My scouts have been keeping a close eye on the black marketeer, and it would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem he has hired more than a few men to stand guard. Common thugs of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a woman of your standing, and Commander Levailleur needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men ever have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, 'tis only natural that he would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Now then, we should make for the burning wall without delay and secure those weapons. The first unit will ensure that the clients do not escape. I do kinda want to call it quits pretty soon. I spy the one man, but there are sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach this sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the black marketeer unawares. Once you've disposed of the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Ow, my ankles. Who goes there? An adventure? Damn fool, you should have never come here. Oh, really? I did not know that. Ah, interesting. I don't understand. What's all this about? Oh, sick. Good to know. As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. But before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard, and to bring in an inexperienced recruit. Commander Leveilleur will be most disappointed. Damn it all. A good opportunity wasted. As for the clients, though we not know how, they slipped past our perimeter. At present, the first is currently tracking a party of dusk white sellswords. We suspect it may be them. Would that we have enlisted the aid of the immortal flames or the brass blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least, we have secured the weapons. Yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicated a massive shipment, and this is anything but. Alright, see you later. I will join the first in their hunt for the Duskwhite sellswords. If the gods are good, we will catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. I think I'll call it quits myself. Yeah, I think I myself am done. Yeah. Okay. I will see you all Wednesday.